Hello.
Hi.
Thank you all for joining us today on Yes Reports. I have Mario Giovannucci. He's an insurance agent and he does a bunch of other stuff. I met him through some charity work that we're doing together. And Mario, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
How you doing, Bob, today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. I'm an insurance broker, and my office, as you can see on my shirt, is out of CV Mason Insurance Agency in Bristol, Connecticut, and they've been around for over 100 years. And I specialize in taking care of the life insurance, disability, and Medicare programs at the agency, and I've been there for just over 20 years.
Wow. Now, Mario, question for you.
Yep.
Legal disclaimer. How does insurance work? I know that you're probably licensed in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And are you licensed in any other state? And does it make a difference?
For the life insurance and the disability and long-term care, yeah, I can do it in any state. But when it comes to the Medicare portion of it, I'm specifically for Connecticut because there's a bunch of different regulations. But I am working on doing things in Florida because of the fact that some of my clients are moving down there.
Okay, so if you're outside of Connecticut and you're not sure if Mario's advice applies to you, call Mario and ask him.
Yep.
He'll point you in the right.
Either way,
he'll point you in the right direction.
Yep.
And he's a good guy. I've known him for. I've been thinking through my brain, and I apologize for the COVID-19 hairstyle.
No, mine's not much better. Trust me, it's gone.
My wife gave me this hat earlier today, and she said you might want to put this hat on.
Nah.
But the green background's making the hat disappear, so I'm not going to put the reporter hat on. But we're having fun. I hope everybody's safe out there with this COVID-19 situation. Mario and I have been doing charity work, but I originally met you through the Chamber of Commerce.
Many years ago, when I was on the board.
Many years ago.
Probably in the early 90s.
Yep, and also I met you through the Rotary Club. My kids were fortunate enough to win scholarships. All three kids won the Carl Schwartz scholarship.
And I was the president of that organization. I'm still on the board there. That's a tremendous cause. Unbelievable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, guys, Mario's a good guy. If you're not sure if this advice applies to you, give him a call. He'll point you in the right direction. Let's talk about life insurance.
Yep.
Okay. So I made this nifty slide up. Life insurance planning.
Yep.
And if you see in the slide, I put a family. Because why do people get life insurance? Tell me, Mario.
It's funny that the demographics have changed too with family. Sometimes you can have two females or two males. But it's important because I've been doing this since 1986, and I've seen the impact on what it could do if somebody passes away early. The money is tremendous, and it comes in tax-free. And a lot of people don't realize that when you get the proceeds, it's tax-free coming in. To answer the question, there are several different types of life insurance. Most people are used to the level term, and the level term can be used for many things. It originally came out years ago. They used to have annual renewable term, which nobody really sells anymore. Then there was a mortgage insurance, and people were saying, oh yeah, mortgage insurance is good. But the problem with the mortgage insurance is your premium stayed level, but the face amounts always went down. Hence, the level terms came to fruition, and it depends really on what the people need. If they have young children, what their debts are as far as mortgages and outstanding other situations, then you definitely want to do the term. Then there's the business side of things where people have more available cash, and then they might want to do some whole life or universal life. So they can set it up so they pay the premiums while they're working, and then when they're retired, they don't have to make any more premium payments, but they still have insurance for the rest of their lives.
So you touched upon business life insurance. What does I have an idea because I've had that on myself in the past, but what does that mean?
Well, it really there's so many applications for it. It's crazy. One of the classic ones is key man policy. So if you have a company and let's say there's 100 employees, there's usually a handful of employees that they call key. And if something were to happen to them, it would be really tragic to the organization. Try to replace them. So what the key man policy does is it gives the corporation owns the policy, and it gives the employer the cash tax free to find a replacement as far as that goes. And then there's other ones that go toward buy-sell agreements, but those are really in depth. And I thought for this type of a situation where we're doing on this Facebook program, it probably more in the personal end, where most people like the term level terms, and then there are that like the universal lives. Universal lives is basically, I call it term insurance to 110 or 100, depending on the family longevity. So what happens, Bob, is years ago, premiums were never guaranteed, the cash values weren't guaranteed, but now they are. So when somebody, so I'll give you an example. So if you came to me and you said, hey, I need some coverage, then I'd say to you, all right, do you need it for the 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or do you think you need this long term and you want to pass it on to somebody? So if somebody said to me, well, I'd like to have a combination or something like that, then the universal life would come into play, and you could set up premiums and face amounts so that the person would be able to protect their family and themselves until their age 100.
Okay, so in what you just said, you mentioned term life insurance and whole life insurance.
I did universal life.
Universal life.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the same as whole life?
No. Whole life is another animal. Basically, whole life is really the most expensive coverage that you can get, but there are reasons for that. It's the most expensive coverage you get because basically, without getting too detailed, they say if somebody is 45 years old and they look at what their mortality age is, and then they set a premium price to it, and that's guaranteed, and that's why the premiums are so expensive. But the flip side of it, there's a couple really good things to it. Number one is you can set it up so that you have policies that you can pay for, and then you can stop paying for them and they'll go on to perpetuity. Like I have a couple of those already that I've done years ago where I paid premiums for 10 or 15 years and now I don't want to pay for them anymore, but they're still going. So you have value in them. But most people don't like it because then they say, well, if I'm going to spend, $1,000, I can get more for the term. Yes, you can, but it doesn't last forever.
Okay. So from what I can tell,
yep.
I'm not an insurance expert. It's pretty complex.
Yes.
Okay. So if somebody's looking to get insurance,
yep,
they should reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, because
I try to keep it simple. I use the old approach: keep it simple, stupid. You just have to, because it's just if it can get so overwhelming that people are like their heads are spinning. But I try to keep
kind of like when you have a toothache, you go to a professional dentist. When they have a question on insurance, they go to you.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yep.
Okay, so how would they get in touch with you?
You can call the office, and the number there is 860-583-4127, or they can always reach me via email, and that email is Mario, MARIOG, at cvmco.com, which stands for CV Mason. So it's Mario G at cvmco.com.
Okay, so to get this clear, even though you're based out of Connecticut, you're allowed to sell some of the products to other states.
Yeah, as far as insurance products, I can go every state. It's just the Medicare stuff because it's done by CMS, and CMS has these processes and things that you have to get extra license and extra things. So I specifically on the Medicare just stick with Connecticut because it's crazy.
But if anybody wants information about life insurance and they're in Florida or they're in Alaska, give Mario a call, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Mario, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for filling me in on this complex subject. And folks, call a professional. Give Mario a call if you have any life insurance questions. Folks, thanks for being with Yes Reports today. Have a super day. Stay safe. Thank you.
Be good, Bob. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mario.
Yep. Take care.